let's get into today's first topic, the weekly pull list, of course. So, yeah, you guys see it. Weekly comic book pull list, everything coming out for February 11th, new comic book day. We've got 8 pulls on the pull list for a total of $36.92, way under my $50 budget, so that's good. And you guys see a lot of cool things. Where should we start though? Let's start with DCKO, all right? So this event, I'm having so much fun with it, dude. I'm having so much fun with DCKO. All the different tie-ins, right? They all like lead into the more recent tie-ins are going to be leading right into issue number 4 here with DCKO. I think that the main event has been real fun too. And yeah, man, I'm just loving DCKO. Hopefully everybody's enjoying it. If you are checking it out, it says here the final 4 are put to the absolute test. 3 mysterious new Omega Charge fighters have entered the tournament. So very interesting. We know that the absolute characters, there's going to be a fight going on with them. But then, in theory, we got Batman coming back into the fold in theory. And we'll get into it when we talk about DCKO Night Fight, that little DCKO tie-in that just wrapped up. But anyways, man, DCKO number 4, I'm excited about it. Hopefully everybody's enjoying DCKO as an event, because I think it's pretty solid. The Absolute Wonder Woman 2026 annual. We got Kelly Thompson, Matea De Luis. Huge fan of Matea's art style. Check this out. Hold on, let me point the. You guys see up there? Cull, another Kelly Thompson written series, but artwork from Matea De Luis. Thought the Cull was so sick. So big fan of Matea De Luis's art style. When Matea did the arc of Absolute Wonder Woman, where Absolute Wonder Woman went down into hell and she was messing with Hades, I think, right? So yeah, that was a pretty cool arc. We didn't have Hayden Sherman, but we had Matea De Luis. Anyways, Kelly Thompson teaming back up with Matea should be pretty cool. I don't know what to expect in this this annual here. It sounds like Diana briefly becoming Medusa in order to save Gateway City. This decision haunts her, and she has never stopped seeking an answer from the gods. Her pleas to Athena have gone unanswered until now. If she wants justice, the mission is deadly and uncertain. Is it worth the risk just to set right one injustice? Breakout artist Matea De Luis returns to the series for a visually spectacular epic of mythical crimes and personal redemption. All right, dude, whatever, but we're in, right? So Absolute Wonder Woman, we're enjoying the series. You got to be picking up the annuals. All of the like one-off, like you think they wouldn't be so consequential to the Absolute Universe. They've been so consequential, right? We got Absolute Evil, right? And then all the different Absolute Batman had an annual, yeah, like the Arc M stuff, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff is super important to what's going on in the Absolute Universe, and we're just having a great time reading it. Absolute Wonder Woman annual coming out this week. So we talked about Absolute Wonder Woman, we talked about DCKO. Let's talk about Transformers 29. Autobot versus Decepticons, and only blank can turn the tide. So maybe an introduction to a classic Transformers character. I'm not too sure. Maybe they'll change the tide of battle. I guess we can maybe look at some of the variants and maybe see if we can get a hint from some of these. No, not really. I don't think so. So it looks like they're keeping it under wraps. We know that the last issue kind of ended in a huge cliffhanger. It seems like the Decepticons are kind of surprise attacking the Autobots. Like the Autobots are kind of just preparing for the next battle, but it seems like the Decepticons are right on the doorstep, like knock on the Autobots. So we'll have to see what happens in this issue with 29. Could get pretty gory, man. You could see some deaths in this one from Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. And yeah, I would say that so far, Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora on the Transformers title, it's not like super wowing me. I would probably say it's not as good as the previous creative team. We're kind of waiting for it to get kicked into high gear, and with issue 29, it could be it. So looking forward to that. Is it true that Dan Mora is leaving after issue 30? Is that right? I didn't hear about that. So Transformers issue 30. Let's take a look, dude. So we got issue 30 on the screen. We got Dan Mora. Let's go to the next issue, 31. We got Ludo. Damn, dude. So Dan Mora leaving the title. Looks like, dude. Unless it's one of those things that this is a, I don't know. Like if you're reading the solicit for 31, right? It's talking about Megatron, Like maybe it's a Megatron specific arc, so maybe that's why they not have Dan Moore on it. Maybe Dan Moore's coming back. I'm not sure. Interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Talked about Transformers. Let's talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 15. All right, so father and sons together again. The Turtles are overjoyed to have Splinter back with them, but there are dark things lurking in the shadows. A mysterious new magic-wielding foe disrupts the family reunion. The Turtles also learn Ujigami's next target, and the race is on to save one of their greatest allies. I am loving Jin Luen Yang and Freddie E. Williams coming onto the title. I think they're doing a really good job. I think they're 3 issues in. This might be the 3rd, or this might be the 4th, I forget. But I think it's all really, really great stuff so far. I guess technically, yeah, so issue 13, 14, and 15. So this is the 3rd issue of this new creative team. The art side, listen, Juan Ferrara, you're not going to reach the peak of Juan Ferrara. He has such a cool style. He does his own coloring too, so more kudos to him. But I think the creative team here is really knocking it out of the park. And then Jin Luen Yang, he's given us some pretty cool story bits that have me pretty intrigued. This new villain, the actual identity of this new villain, and how it relates to the return of Splinter. Pretty interesting stuff so far. So yeah, I would recommend jumping on. You can start with issue 13 and continue reading the TMNT series from there. And yeah, having a good time with it. Jin Luen Yang and Freddie Williams doing a great job. We see in the chat, back up, Paul Dev says, something is definitely up with the Splinter coming back. That reunion felt off. Tommy B saying, what's up? Yeah, Paul, dude. Yeah, something up with this Splinter. We know that, he has the secret that we'll see how long he keeps from the rest of the Turtles. And we'll have to see if the Splinter is here to stay. You know what I'm saying? If you're reading the series, you know what I mean. Let's talk about Geiger 21, dude. You guys know I love Geiger. Issue 20 wasn't the best of all time, but we have sort of like a new arc kind of starting up, right? With issue 20, we got the mysterious Northerner guy who's like this time travel dude from the Civil War era. And yeah, the Northerner is a pretty interesting character. And it's kind of like what's going on with that. Geiger's into this new kind of journey, this new sort of quest. He split off from the main group that we've known from the first 19 issues or whatever it was. So he split off from that group. He does have Barney, his 3-headed dog, chilling with him. Wait, how many heads does Barney have? 2 or 3? Geiger 21, just more excellent stuff from Jeff Johns. We get the main series artist with Gary Frank. And yeah, I'm just loving Geiger. I'm planning a reread of Geiger soon, probably in March. I'll be rereading. Maybe I'll reread Junkyard Joe first, and then I'll reread Geiger, that first volume. I want to get that second deluxe edition they have from Ghost Machine Image. That should be pretty cool. Got to add that to my collection. All right, big release for the week. Bleeding Hearts #1, a DC Vertigo title. This is technically like the first DC Vertigo title, because we know that Nice House by the Sea, which I'll be reviewing here in a second, but that was technically not a DC Vertigo title to start. They sort of switched it up. I forgot when. It was like issue 4 or something like that. They switched to DC Vertigo. But issue 7 came out, DC Vertigo. But this is the first DC Vertigo title proper with Bleeding Hearts #1. We got Dennis Camp, Stepan Morian. This is the same creative team as 20th Century Men. If you guys read that out of Image Comics, excellent series. It's like a war comic. It's kind of superhero-ish, but it's more focused on like the impacts and sort of the devastation that follows from war. Sort of like a Cold War between all the major superpowers in the world. Pretty cool stuff. But this series is going to be more focused on this main character named Poke. He's a zombie living in a world filled with zombies, and the zombies have ruled the world so long that they developed their own culture and their own language, right? So really weird stuff going on here, I'm sure, from Dennis Camp and Stepan Morian. But our main character discovers that his heart starts beating again, and he's like, that's not supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be dead. So he goes on some kind of journey from that, I guess, right? But yeah, we'll have to see what the main character Poke, see what he gets up into once he discovers his heart starts beating again, threatening his sort of place in the zombie community. So we'll have to see what's going on. Bleeding Hearts #1. Excited for some DC Vertigo, the real return of a DC Vertigo. I'm ready. Are you guys ready in the chat? Let me know. Adventures of Superman Book of L. This is a pretty fun one from Philip Kennedy Johnson. We mentioned him in the chat. this is the continuation of his War World saga. So that Omni that we're talking about, all that excellent material, this series, The Adventures of Superman Book of L, is a continuation of that. So yeah, just really cool seeing Philip Kennedy Johnson, get to complete and finish out his long ongoing Superman title. Great voice for Superman, and pretty fun situation he's got Superman in right now. I think I'm 3 issues behind, so I gotta catch up. It's like a really fun like binge read sort of series. Like DC Universe Infinite, I binge it and then I read the new single issue. So could be this weekend that I catch up on Adventures of Superman Book of L, but just more great stuff from PKJ, I'm sure. And the last single issue that we're picking up for New Comic Book Day, February 11th, Die Loaded number 4. If you guys haven't read Die, the original series, excellent stuff from Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. This Die Loaded series just continues it even more. It's fun being back in the world of Die. It's got such a unique, like it's fantasy, but it's like not, you know what I mean? It's got some sort of like steampunky, like tech inspired, like, so I don't know, like the world of Die is really interesting, but the characters in this time around, they're all taking up the same classes that we know from the first volume, but it's new characters taking up those classes. And yeah, I'm just having a great time. Kieran Gillen, Stephanie Hans. One of the most beautiful books on stands. I swear to God, it's beautiful stuff here from Stephanie Hans doing the art and the coloring. Always appreciate an artist that can do both. And yeah, Die Loaded. Really excited about that. So that's what we have for New Comic Book Day, February 11th. Those are my 8 pulls that I'm picking up for a total of $36.92. I would gotta say my most anticipated read, probably gotta be Bleeding Hearts. I'm just so excited for a new Dennis Camp series to be starting up, DC Vertigo. I'm also looking forward to Absolute Wonder Woman, the annual, of course, and then probably DCKO, just because I'm having so much fun with the event, man. So yeah, those are my most anticipated reads. Let me know down in the comments what your most anticipated reads are. While you're down there in the comments, leave a like and sub if you love. I really appreciate it. If you really like, you can hype it, all that good stuff. Shout out to everybody for joining me for New Comic Book Weekly. If you guys didn't know, New Comic Book Weekly is a live show I do every single Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We do the comic book pull list, we talk about the reviews, and then we do a random like big topic. I just pick something like the day of recording, and I just try to see what's going on in the comic book world. And yeah, love talking about all the comic book stuff live with you guys. You could join me live for next week's New Comic Book Weekly. You could be joining me like Tommy B, Chris Collects, Paul Dev, Mikey J, Nick Loss in the chat, Derek Seaborn, of course, man. Thank you everybody for coming out.